So this is Yoko. I am with a Hope Esperanza. I am also a financial advisor at Zen Wealth Strategy here in North Black Connect. Now we have a special guest today. This is Billie. Halftime with Billie J.
Hi.
Say hi to Billie.
Hello.
All right. So I'm really curious. I know this is very wild that I get to meet with comic in North Platte, right? And she is doing her own things for how many years now, Billie?
Well, I kind of started in 2019, so just a few years.
Okay. But within a few years, I mean, you have sort of like grown and have so much more followers. So tell me a little bit about yourself, like where you started out, why you wanted to be, starting sort of like stand-up comics and, trying to kind of share the fun with people in the community and beyond. Tell me about that.
So basically, I had a midlife crisis. And
okay, midlife crisis. I like that.
Yeah, you get to a certain point in life and you wonder, what am I doing with my life? Mm-hmm. And so decided that, what I really like to do is make people laugh.
I like that.
And I've always been in sales. I've been in sales off and on throughout my entire career. And I always told stories for people to buy stuff.
Right.
Because if they like you, they'll buy your product.
Story tells
and
people.
So
story tells. Story is going to sell. Yes.
Yeah. So it kind of evolved, and I had a conversation with my husband one night. I'm bawling, and he's like, "Well, you're not. I'm not happy. I'm miserable." And he goes, "Is there another man?" And I said, "No, I'm just miserable because I wasn't doing what I love." And so he says, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "I just want to make people laugh." And so you're sitting there for 6 months after that wondering how to do it. Because where we live out here,
right,
in North Platte, Nebraska, how do you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So I heard there was an open mic at the espresso shop.
Oh, so you tried the espresso shop
Yep,
first.
it was downtown here.
Okay.
And so I went to the espresso shop. I started there in like October, November. And then I found another open mic in Kearney at the other side, and I started going there, and by March I'd put together an hour show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it happened pretty quickly out of necessity.
So how was the first time you were on the stage tried out the open mic night, which is a great place to be because open mic night at the espresso shop, I mean, I always felt like the safe place to, just crash and burn for myself too.
They were so good to me. The people were so nice. And, George, who runs it, was fantastic.
Oh,
he always
had
him. Great advice. And, Alan Marie Raby, they welcomed me with open arms. And so they made me feel welcome, and I gave it a shot, and I came back and did it again and again. And then, you kind of like, okay, I got to put something bigger together because we don't have comedy. I had some shows I've bombed.
Who doesn't bomb in our own damn life at this point? Come on now.
Some shows are a lot of work,
You betcha.
And so sometimes it is work, and a lot of people would probably quit just
because
of
that
you've
experience.
had the bad ones along with the good ones,
Right.
But I haven't said no to anything yet. I've said yes to everything I've been asked to do.
I love that though.
And I've done a post-prom party for Kearney Catholic Schools.
Wow, Catholic school will be a tough crowd.
That was and actually it was really great. And I did a game show. I basically did a little bit of comedy, and then I did a game show with the volunteers. And I couldn't believe the kids volunteered. They did.
Oh, wow.
And it was pretty fun.
Nice.
And then I did a wedding. There was a
weddings.
Guy,
okay.
I had met this guy one night. My husband and I had met him, and his daughter was getting married in Denver. It was, I don't know, and he wanted me to do the post-wedding party. I'm like, what?
That's an interesting gig.
So I did the same thing. I did a game show, right?
Nice.
And so we had the bride and groom, the dad and his wife, and then an aunt and an uncle.
Oh, nice.
And we did kind of like the newlywed game.
Oh, cool.
And I asked him questions. I said, if there was anything you would change about your spouse, what would it be? And the groom said, his brand new wife of only a few hours' stomach.
What?
I need to find out if they're still married.
So I'm just kind of confused myself, thinking like, what is he talking
Why
about?
would he say that? Why would he say that? If
Is that the love handles, or it's just a physical appearance? It was
she
just.
kind of had a beer gut, okay, and who doesn't have a muffin top? I mean, come on.
I do
So
too.
I was just like, you didn't just say that. I think I just caused the first shortest wedding ever.
Wow. But would you say like the crowd was kind of like, that's funny?
In the groom's defense, the bride wasn't drinking because they were driving. They were going to drive for their honeymoon to Colorado Springs, so she wasn't drinking. And in the groom's defense, he had drank too much.
Oh, okay.
That's
a nice save. Nice save for that. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he regretted it.
For whatever he said. Okay.
For whatever was said. But it was kind of, and after that, I'm like, okay, don't ask those kind of questions.
Interesting. You know, sometimes people might say that to make it exciting or make it so funny.
Yeah, but I felt bad about that.
I mean, especially the bride is sober. That's the tough gig there, you know.
And then I did another show out in Alliance. It was for a Farm Bureau annual meeting.
Insurance folks, just plug your ears.
And so I did the same thing. I picked a couple here and a couple here, and this gal, she was just so funny. She's like, "Don't embarrass me." She was like hitting him in the arm. "Don't you say anything to embarrass me," you know. And then it got great. They were great.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh my gosh, they were so funny.
So you have your pictures out there, like a Farm Bureau buildings when you go in, like a great people.
Well, they had it at a golf course, you know.
Okay.
It was at a golf course. It was their annual meeting. It was a dinner, and they just had me come in and do some entertainment after their little budget meeting or whatever.
That's awesome.
And it was fun. It was actually really fun. So I've done some really, well, I have one coming up. I'm going to.
Is this the one? Is this the one?
I have several things coming up, but this is one of them.
This is actually in the North Platte, Nebraska, right?
Yes.
I mean, at the Fox Theater,
Yep,
is that right?
at
So
the
tell me a little
Community
bit about
Playhouse.
it.
Yeah, so I've got Talon Saucerman coming, and he is so funny. So funny. He's been doing comedy 18 years.
Okay.
And he's kind of a blue-collar guy.
Where does he live?
He's got an ex-wife. So he lives in Denver.
In Denver? Okay.
And he's just great. He's so funny.
So he is going to come support you because you're going to be the headliner, Billie J.
Well, Talon's very, very good, so he makes me try to be better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So tell me, like, you know, okay, you should have like a goal as a comedian. So what's your next step? Like, what is your big things?
So right now, what I'm working on, I'm trying to put together a tour, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Because I've done so many of the places locally that I'm wanting to branch out. And when you branch out, you kind of have to be well known for something. Right? Otherwise, people won't come to the show.
Right.
And currently, I have a video on YouTube. It's called Laugh Therapy.
Okay, Laugh Therapy. I like that name.
And it's me laughing 5 minutes over just laughing. Like, a girlfriend and I were driving home from a show, and we got the giggles. We just got the giggles and started laughing. And I recorded the whole thing.
That's cool. So it's gonna do you do like a podcast or anything like that on your own?
I do have a podcast. It's called Not the Trophy Wife.
I love that. I mean, listen to that title, like, Not the Trophy Wife.
Well,
what is that all about? I wanted to know.
My husband, there's a little bit that goes behind this. So this is a true story. This is what happened.
Everything's a true story.
Everything's a true story. But we went to a horse show in Queens Creek, Arizona. A friend of ours was showing our stud horse. There was a high-dollar horse trainer there named Moseanne McKimmey, and he had this really young wife. And she kept going around telling everybody she was his trophy wife.
Oh, wow.
So one morning at breakfast, there's me and my husband and 4 other women. We're all sitting at this breakfast table. And I said to my husband, I go, I'm your trophy wife.
Yeah.
And he looks me right in the eye and he says, no, you're my participation trophy wife.
Oh my goodness. So what will be let's just making sure to make the just a difference in between. Like let's just define.
He thought he was so
the
funny.
participation trophy wife versus trophy wife.
Right?
What would be that?
So like a trophy wife's completely taken care of, everything.
Right. Right.
And then there's the participation trophy wife, and I'm like, that's right, I do all the work.
So yeah, more like a volunteer. Volunteer trophy wife.
Right? I'm like, what? So hence the name of my podcast is Not the Trophy Wife. Because I am
Makes
not
sense.
a trophy wife. I work
Makes
for everything I
sense.
do, right?
And
he's a very loyal and loving man. Don't get me wrong. He's a great father, great husband. But he's not very romantic, okay?
Well, some people are just not.
He
Some
doesn't
people are
ever
just
make
not.
plans. He never, I always have to make the plans. I always have to drag him places, he's very content just out on the ranch doing his thing. And
Well,
I
does
like to go.
Well, but what he has his way of being romantic. I don't know. He could be just like let's
Okay, Yoko,
like
let me
on the
tell you.
underwear with a cowboy hat, right? Like a cowboy boots.
Yeah, I love
On
your
a ranch,
vision.
on a ranch, like on a horse, like galloping around.
Yeah.
That could be a romantic thing,
That
isn't it?
could be. I've
It's kinda
never
like
seen that.
Fabio coming back from like 90s. No,
He
it's not that.
shaves his head. There's no Fabio hair going on. He
No
shaves his
Fabio
head.
hairs.
No Fabio hair. Nope. But like he enjoys spending time together,
Which is nice.
Like he'll take me out in the pasture, and I get to be gate girl. I get to jump
like
out
that.
and open the gates. That's
Ooh.
quality time.
Maybe you guys should have role models, like role plays together.
Right.
Like you can rope him, maybe.
I should tie him up. That's
Exactly,
what he needs. He needs tied
exactly.
up.
And then just make that video out of it.
Well,
I think
seriously,
that's gonna be
those flip flop shoes?
Yeah.
So I had those on one day in the pasture, and I got out, and it broke between the toes.
Oh,
it broke.
yes.
I get back in, I said, "Honey, I broke my flip flop," and he posted on Facebook that I broke my thong in the pasture.
Thongs.
That's what he told her. He posted
Is that a
that.
cowboy terminology? Is that a cowboy terminology that I
Well,
don't
that's
know?
what we used to call them 30 years ago.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
Where
flip
have I?
flops used to be called thongs about
Oh,
30
that's-
years ago.
Is that only in North Platte, Nebraska area, or is it a beyond?
Well, I grew up, as a kid, they were thongs. And then they came out with the underwear.
Oh my goodness!
And
So,
so-
underwear steal that title.
So then they had to change them to flip-flops because thong meant something different.
oh my goodness!
And so now everybody calls them flip-flops. But he is kind of old-fashioned, and he still
So-
calls it a thong.
Well, you know what? That could be his way of being very romantic at this point. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So-
Okay, you can say that all you want.
So I guess it's gonna be a role playing in the Billie J's future. That's what she was talking about. But
Right.
but
that
yeah,
laugh therapy video has over 40,000 views now.
40,000.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty
if
awesome.
you want to go watch that, that would be great because I'm trying to hit 50,000 views because that's going to be my hook. See?
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to use for my marketing to sell these shows.
I love that. So where can people go online to find
So
you?
I call it halftime with Billie J because I'm over 50 and I'm going downhill fast.
Well, that is not true, though. We never age. That's the thing. That's the thing. So we will never age.
Honey,
just
you look
like a
fantastic,
champagne.
but I don't know.
I'm coming up 50. Okay, half the century. So that is okay. Right, I have to say that. So, but that's awesome about like halftime is Billie J. Because I was wondering, I was like, how come it's a halftime?
Yeah.
With a Billie J.
Yeah,
So-
because I'm over 50 and I'm like, you're over 50. It's like halftime. And so I'm on everything. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Oh, you do a TikTok too.
Yeah, I need to do more. I'm working on it.
That's
It's hard
cool.
to do all that. And social media, it's a lot.
I think it's a lot of times like you, as another comedian, you have to cook all the materials somehow, right?
Yeah, you have to cut it down and then trying to find apps to make it easy and to make clips out of shows. And it's a lot.
So how do you practice? Or do you just kind of have the ideas in your mind and just go on the
They
stage?
do
and
kind of
just-
come
out?
They do kind of come to me.
That
But
is
I'll
awesome.
I'll have something happen and I'll write it down on my phone. I
Or
have a
just in
notepad.
case?
Yeah, or I'll hear something kind of funny from somebody, and I think, oh, I could use that in a bit.
Okay.
And then I'll have something happen. That's gonna fit.
That's kind of
that's
like
gonna
interesting,
fit.
yeah.
Oh, that's good. And so that's kind of how it evolves. Like things happen. My family does stuff, and that's where the
Right.
stories come from.
Well, that's why we just can't cut off the family member yet. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter how old we are. We just have to keep them in for the materials and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So-
I can't get rid of them because they're just two big fountains of information.
Oh my God, I love Billie J already. So if you haven't checked out the Billie J, you guys just need to check on to www.halftimewithbilliej.com. She also have, you says, like Instagrams and Twitters, and also TikTok accounts. And just needs to come to the show on October, Friday the 13th. How appropriate.
Yeah, and you
On
can
that
get
day.
tickets on Eventbrite.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Well, where else do you can get like the physical tickets?
Oh, I have those, or if you just let Yoko know, I'll get her some more tickets if you want to come in and
Awesome.
get some tickets before the show.
Sounds good. So, well, thank you so much for everyone to tuning to us, because Billie J is pretty one of a kind here in the North. But I think everybody should go and try to have some laugh in your life, because laugh kills a lot of things, right?
Oh, everybody
Laugh
needs to laugh. I tell you, in
heals.
this day and age, we need some good stuff to laugh at.
Oh my goodness, I laugh at myself too much, and then I just need to find the inspiration from somebody else. So that's Billie J here.
And the laughter raises the world's vibration.
Oh,
That's
it is.
That's what when you laugh, you just feel lighter.
That
And to
is.
make people laugh, I just feel like I'm raising the world's vibration by spreading laughter.
This is your calling, right, Billie J?
I feel like it is. I sometimes I don't feel like I'm that good at it, but I do love to entertain people, and I do like to make people laugh.
That's
So, yeah.
lovely. So thank you so much for tuning in to Yoko's the channel, even though I don't really have a channel, but that's what I've been calling for like last, 5 years or so. Anyway, so come to the podcast on October 9th.